Hi, this is OTEP, and you are watching FeMetal TV.
Hey everybody, thanks for tuning into FeMetal TV. We are privileged once again to be hanging out with OTEP. We so enjoy the time that we get to spend with her. How are you?
I'm well, thank you very much.
I want to share with you, the last time we were together, I've been doing this for a long time, probably about 30 years, maybe 32 years now. I've interviewed a lot of artists, talked to a lot of people. The last time that you and I spoke, after you left, I sat at the table for a long time talking, thinking about what we had talked about. And I realized that it's been a long, long time since I interviewed an artist who actually inspired me and left me feeling inspired. And I wanted to share that with you because I really enjoyed our conversation last time.
Thank you so much. It's very, very kind.
You are very welcome. I want to start out by talking about the death threats. So I follow you on social media. I can clearly see that since the election has gone on, there's been some death threats. The last show we were at, there were barricades. Mm-hmm. How's that going? Has it changed?
It's okay. I mean, a lot of this stuff is basement folks, just Twitter warriors or internet warriors who. The internet is a great invention. It's connected the world. It has helped me out in many ways by being able to be closer to my fans, being able to speak to supporters. It's also given rise to people who are cowards who find courage through the internet. They won't show up to a show. They won't, but they'll say a lot of things. So that are make them sound pretty tough and sound pretty brave. We do have heightened security, just to not necessarily for me, but for the fans and for my band and crew as well, and because that would break my heart if anything ever happened to anybody that would show up to a show. I mean, venues are supposed to be safe spaces, shows are supposed to be safe spaces, and even just with the current political climate and just the cultural climate around the world, we have to take certain measures just to make sure that everybody stays safe and we have a good time.
Absolutely. Same album, Generation Doom, right now, that's out. Last time we spoke, it was the Equal Rights, Equal Lefts tour. Now we're the Resistance tour. And I want to know, I know we're promoting the same album. What is it, because you've changed the message of the tour that you wanted to change the name?
I think so. Well, one thing is that when the first tour was out, it was really about just reminding people that we are guaranteed life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and that all are created equal in this country. This tour is really about trying to unite and inform and enlighten people that might not really understand what's happening to our country. People, especially younger generations who grew up under Barack Obama, may not have this a different idea of what a leader is, or what the government's supposed to do, or what your rights are as a citizen. For us, as a member of the Resistance, and I wanted to bring that opportunity to enlighten folks and to remind them that they're not alone, even in red states, that they're not alone, and that even though you may feel isolated, you're not. And so we wanted to make sure that was the message that was displayed in this tour. And we did. This is the second leg, and this is the final show of this tour. And it's been a wonderful experience, truly.
Anything you want to say about the convalescent controversy that you have not said, or that you feel has not been reported accurately?
Well, the funny thing about it is like the singer in that band wrote this long diatribe about how it was an equal decision or something like that. It wasn't. It was they violated our tour code of ethics, and they were kicked off the tour for that reason. But then he called me a nightmare to work with. Well, this is the second tour that he's done with me in the same year. So if I was such a nightmare, then why would you do the second leg of the tour?
Right. Why would you do it again?
And in fact, I rarely had anything to do with him. It wasn't until the drug situation happened where they used our runner, who was taking our bus driver to his hotel. The runner said, "Hey, I got to stop by my house. Do you mind?" And he said, "Okay." And then he comes back with his bag of drugs, and he says, "My bus driver," I was like, "What's that?" And he said, "Oh, it's for the band. And he didn't say which band. He just said the band. So, of course, my bus driver thinks it's for OTEP. And a lot happened there. I mean, with the bus company and all that. And so we had to take measures to make sure that that would never happen again. And also just, we want people to share our stage with us that don't have a sense of entitlement, that don't have this idea that they were Motley Crue in the 80s and this is all about getting wasted and partying. I mean, do that on your own time. I'm not making any judgments on anybody. If that's what you want to do, that's what you do. But don't do it on my tour. That's not what we're about, and that's not what we want to. That's not the message we want to spread to our fans. So I don't really have anything else to say other than good luck. Controversy works well for me. I'm controversial.
Yes.
So anytime anybody tries to gin up controversy about me, good luck, man. It works in my favor.
Yeah, you started it already.
I mean, it's, do what I do. What were you doing when I was signed to a record label after 4 shows? I mean, what were they doing? They've been trying to get signed forever, and people try to take that away from me as if I hadn't paid my dues. I've been touring for 6 months out of the year for 15 years.
Right.
Headlining most of those years. So I'm lucky, I'm grateful, I'm blessed to have the following that I do and the passionate people that support us. And so the pylon that happened after that was just, again, it's just all these enemy cowards. And it doesn't have an ironclad soul. It doesn't bother me at all. In fact, it's a hobby of mine to bash up the eagerly stupid on the internet. So
I kind of felt and of course, I'm a journalist, so we started reading it. And after the first couple things, I started thinking, is this really about the issue, or is it just about hanging onto the coattails to get the publicity that's going to reflect?
Well, you look at everything that any band that's gotten onto this pylon, at the bottom of their statement, there's always a link to their new album or to their merch store. Right. So if it really was about this, then if it really was about the issue, then they would have just stayed on the issue. But they're always like, oh, and by the way, buy our new record. Right. Oh, and by the way, buy our new merch. The other thing about it is that none of these wannabe lame-ass TMZ metal sites ever came to me at all. They just picked up a story and ran with it. Why? Because of clickbait. They can get the story out. Mm-hmm. People will come see the story. It's easy to villainize me because I'm so outspoken. Whatever. Every one of these sites that published stories about me that were untrue, they know who my publicists are. My publicists are some of the biggest in the business.
That's right.
They know who they are. I've got, with all my social media, I have a reach of about 19 million people. So they know where I'm at on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, all my things. Did anybody come to me and ask for my site besides you guys and like one other site? No, they just went for it. So the people who click, and on the page, they just got basically a little window that shows the statement. They don't have to do any work.
Right. All
they do is make money off the Google Analytics and the clickbait.
Right, because that's the cliffhanger.
Mm-hmm.
The cliffhanger. Mm-hmm. So I read that you had been talking about wanting to do some festivals that, as you just mentioned, you feel you've paid your dues, you sell a lot of albums, you sell out shows. I know that we alone have been to at least 10 OTEP shows, and you think it's time. So my question is, are you being passed over? Why do you think that is? And what festivals would you like to play if it were your choice?
Well, we did play, when Sharon Osbourne, who I owe a great debt of gratitude, she helped make sure that, because I was the first woman to ever play Ozfest, ever front a band on Ozfest. She made sure that I was taken care of, and she was the boss.
She's the best.
I mean, she ran that festival. Her and her second in command at Ozfest, Opie, is his name, and they made sure that we were taken care of. And actually, I was so new to music, and I didn't know much about it. I had to be such a quick study that I sort of saw her as a mentor for me to learn to lead by example and all those things. Once Ozfest had done what it came to do and went away, and other festivals started rising, mm-hmm. We stopped getting offers, and not even shitty offers. Not even like, hey, can you come play for $50? Nothing. Even when we won. And I honestly, I'm not going to bring up any names at this point because there's really not that many festivals left. But some of the festivals passed over us because I think even when we won their online poll, like there was one, like for Mayhem, for example, I'll bring that up. So for Mayhem, we won their online poll. Who would you like to see at Mayhem next year? OTEP was the clear winner. They didn't even contact me anything about it. They didn't even give us a shitty offer. Nothing. So when the fans got mad at me, because first of all, like I said, we don't book shows. We have nothing to do with booking shows. We have an agent and a manager who negotiates with promoters and buyers, and they're the ones who do it. Right. Me and the band, we always looked at the list and go, where are we playing? Right. You know, we know where we need to start and where we need to end, and that everything else in the middle is negotiated. And again, we have contracts and everything else. That's what professionals do. We have a contract that secures a certain amount of money and a certain amount of details that we need just to show up to be able to play, you know, with regards to stage size and stuff. And, you know, that's what we end up having to do. But, you know, the fans got really mad at me as if I was choosing not to play these festivals. So I made a comment about, well, perhaps their main sponsor, which is Rockstar Energy Drink, is homophobic because they held a heterosexual pride festival in Southern California one year. The owner's son, the owner is the son of Michael Savage, who is a known conservative radio talk show host who's a known homophobic. Right. He said that gay people created AIDS to destroy humanity. He said that we're all pedophiles who want to murder children, and that we all deserve to be eliminated. And he supports gay conversion therapy. So I made that statement, and of course they launched into my agents and they said they're going to blacklist me. They're going to put me on all these lists. My agent threatened to quit, and so I said, well, if you're going to quit, man, quit. You know, there's nothing. I'm not going to change my stance. There's a reason. We sell tickets, we sell merch. Been around for 15 years. I got 7 albums. Why I'm not even getting and people have seen what we did not fest, thankfully, because we're really good friends with the boys at Slipknot. Big shout out to Corey Taylor, because without Corey Taylor, there would be no OTEP. That is reality. I don't think he gets enough credit for what he's done for this industry with both bands, Stone Sour and Slipknot. We're friends with them, so we got to play Knotfest, and there's video of it online, and they put us on the Rockstar Energy Drink was the sponsor for that. We were supposed to play second stage, and they put us on the local band stage. And so even our dressing room was behind the second stage, and they put us on the local stage. You know what? We still went out and killed it. And rocked it. Yeah. Sure we did. And we stole whatever band was playing on second stage, because there's flatland out there. We were up on the stage, and we could see the fans running to us. By the time we were done, we had 20,000 people in front of us. Started with like 50. 20,000 people in front of us, and the actual owners of both of the festival and the manager of Slipknot came over to us and said, "We had you on the wrong stage. I'm sorry." And we were like, "No problem.
We got this.
We still did it. You know, you do your worst."
What about European festivals? Wacken, Hellfest, do you have any interest in those?
Yes, we do. The problem is, when I was very outspoken about George W. Bush, I made George W. Bush's enemies list. So they put me on a no-fly. They put me on a no-fly list out of the country. And I could go to certain countries, but I couldn't get in Canada, because at the time, Canada's Prime Minister and George W. Bush were really good friends. So I couldn't get into Canada. So we've never played Canada. We've only played Europe once, and that was when our first record came out in 2002. So we're changing that now. Our current label is based in Austria, and we might have some really exciting news to share later about really exciting news to share later. We are definitely planning on going to Europe in 2018 and doing as much as we can do. I don't care if we play, you know, a hallway. We just want to get over there and meet the fans who've been waiting on us for so long. And again,
they're still embracing.
Right now, with my outspokenness about Trump, because I'm on his watch list as well. I'm on his Twitter watch list. I'm number 21 or 22, just great, because I'm 4 behind Hillary Clinton, and I'm 1 above Michael Moore. But I'm on Trump's watch list right now. So the big fear that my agents and managers have right now is that I won't be able to get back in the country. Because once I'm out, they won't let me stay out. But my hope is that good working class folks rise up and stay focused, and we throw this bomb out and get a new president, and we don't have to worry about him anymore.
Multiple question.
Yes.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Cheeto Von Tweedo, Orange Julius Caesar, or the Mango Mussolini?
I got one better.
Okay.
Cheeto. That's what I call it. I like Mango Mussolini is pretty good, but most people aren't as familiar with Mussolini
Mm-hmm.
as they are Hitler.
Correct.
So I like to call him Cheeto Hitler because he basically copies Hitler's speeches. And if you read his ex-wife's book, which I'm not sure which ex-wife, he said 3.
Mm-hmm.
Ivanka
was the first.
Was it the first? Okay, so if you read her book, he used to sleep with a copy of Mein Kampf next to his bed.
Wow.
Yeah. He actually, and in that book, he also talks about attacking her. He attacked her because he had a scalp surgery done to fix a bald spot, and I guess the doctor botched it, or who knows, maybe he just didn't do the self-care after the surgery, and he choked her. In the book, that's not me making it up. I didn't write it, but that's I don't know. I mean, she must have a little tiny neck because he's got really tiny hands. So if he choked her, speculative. I don't know.
Okay, so seriously, if you could be in the position that he's in, what are the top 3 things that you would change immediately, right off the bat, or improve?
Well, first thing I would do is I would lower taxes on the working class. I'd make sure that I'd give single-payer healthcare, universal healthcare for all people, and I would raise the pay of our men and women in uniform to make sure that they get paid at least as much as pro athletes get paid. We got enough money to spend fighting 2 wars for 15 years. We could pay those heroes a little bit better. I come from a military family, so I know what they go through and how hard it is at the VA hospitals and all that. So I'd make sure that they get the care they need for sure.
So healthcare, raise the wage of the military. What's number 3?
Well, I would fix the ACA. I'd make sure that single payer healthcare, and then I'd raise the minimum. Whatever we pay professional athletes, we should pay our military the same. And I thought I said the 3rd one already. Did I say the 3rd one? You paying attention over there, bro? Did I say it? What did I say?
I don't.
Oh, well, let's see. What would be the 3rd one? I'd raise the taxes on the working class. I mean, on the wealthy class for sure. Make them pay, because what a lot of these guys do is they live off the interest of their money, and that's not taxable.
Right.
That's what Mitt Romney did. That's what his whole fight was that he just lives off the interest of his money. That's not taxable. So we changed that.
Definitely. Okay, next question. So the Disney movie that just came out, Beauty and the Beast, the live Disney movie, not the animated. Okay. Big controversy about one of the characters, LeFleur, being portrayed as gay. Russia banned the film.
Shocking.
It was a big deal. Now, the movie came out, and Disney was quite amazed that LeFleur got this huge response. So it was this big response, and I'm sure that they think it was from the LGBT community coming out to support this character that was being banned. So now they have decided that they are going to put a gay character in all of the animated remakes that they do. They have released that they are going to change Simba from The Lion King when they do the real movie to be gay. Do you think that it's some sort of almost reverse discrimination where now they're going to cash in on it as opposed to simply creating a character and having that character be created to be a gay character as opposed to taking an iconic character like Simba and then changing his whole life and making him gay?
Well, I think, first of all, I'm a big fan of Lion King. And I never thought of Simba being heterosexual or homosexual. But I don't know if they're cashing in. I don't know if that's a thing. I think there's more people that are outspoken against having gay characters anywhere. I mean, it's hard enough for me as an open lesbian. I go to a rom-com. There's never a story about me. There's never my stories told. I have to choose a side as to which one I am or which one appeals to me, or I just have to look at the beauty of it and go, somehow this applies to my life, but I never see a lesbian couple that's on the closest that I've seen is a movie called Carol that came out recently with Kate Blanchett and Mark Rooney. And that was probably the closest that I've seen to exposing what it was like growing up or to living the life of being lesbians in The 40s, I think, is when it took place.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I don't know. I haven't heard that they were going to recast Simba as gay, but homosexuality exists in the animal kingdom. Homosexuality exists everywhere. It has since we crawled out of the oceans. Before that, even. I don't know if it's a. I don't think that it's a. I think that it's better for young kids because gay kids now don't have peers. When we have our first kiss, who do we tell? We have a crush on somebody. Who do we tell? I couldn't tell anybody because one, I was afraid that I'd get humiliated by everyone in school, which actually sort of happened. I had a crush on a girl. We were very cute, when we were by ourselves. But then when it was made public, she wrote a big letter and put it on the bulletin board and sort of shamed me as being gay. And I didn't understand it because no one had ever done that to me before. And I didn't think there was anything wrong with it except for the fact that I knew that I didn't know anybody else that was gay. And the people that I did know were very sort of flaming, and there's stereotypes, and they were just outdone. But as a kid, I didn't have anybody I could tell that, oh, I had my first kiss, or I got a crush, or, I couldn't do it. And that's why you have a lot of late in life first loves for gay people, because once we finally find our courage to live our true selves, to live our authentic selves, we can finally find our tribe. We can live our truth, and that's important to me. So if it's going to help some kid who's a young person and sees a gay character on the screen, and they can identify that with the struggles and the pain and the love and all the things that they experience, then I'm all for it. If they make money on it, good, and it'll normalize it and make it. There's a good example of this. So Dallas Buyers Club, with Matthew McConaughey and Jared Leto, they cast two straight guys in those roles. Well, the main character in real life was bisexual, but they left that part out of the movie. They'd rather have him be a tough rodeo cowboy, right? Because it appealed more. It would make it much different for people to go see that film if they're tough. If the character's bisexual, but if it'll bring heterosexuals into the theater. If Matthew McConaughey is this tough rodeo cowboy who just happens to get AIDS by having sex with hookers who are needle users. Jared Leto, who did a great job, but they could have cast a trans actor for that or actress for that. They didn't. They chose not to. Why? Well, because it gets heterosexual people in a seat, and then they can, they can sort of have empathy for the struggles that we have endured in this country and continue to endure in this country. So there's a bit of controversy in that by saying, well, Matthew, they didn't tell the real story, they didn't tell the true story, but at the same time, the story got told. So sometimes we have to make certain compromises in order to get greater gains. And as someone who doesn't like to compromise quite a bit, that was really tough for me. But at the same time, you have to keep your eyes on the prize.
And I think for me, the controversy was I didn't care whether LeFleur was gay or not gay because I don't felt they ever defined his character.
Well, what is he, a candle or something?
No, he's Gaston's right hand man in Beauty and the Beast. For me, when I looked at Lion King, we defined that Simba marries Nala and goes on. So I was trying to figure out what was the benefit of changing the character as opposed to simply creating a character that.
They're not doing that. They're not doing, we're getting into another part about Hollywood where what are they doing? I mean, it's superhero movies and remakes. That's pretty much all that's being done now.
Yeah.
So in order to keep it interesting, they've got to do something. And, again, for those who loved Simba being a heterosexual lion, you still got the animated film.
True.
But if they make a live action, you can always go back to that. People say things to me like, "Oh, I really loved your first record. I wish you'd make good. Go listen to it.
It's still available.
It's still there. It's not going anywhere. That's the wonderful thing about art. It lasts the ages. Empires rise and fall, but art is forever."
So where are we going musically into the next album?
Good question. I think the next record is probably going to be another. It's difficult because every time people say the same thing, like, where are you going to go next? And I don't really know. But I think it's, as far as me, what I'm always trying to do is reflect who I am now. I don't want to ever forget my roots. My roots are in poetry, hip-hop, and anger. pretty much. And I want to make sure that those things are always going to be my foundation and my core, they're my nucleus. And I want to just build on that, and then reflect who I am as a writer and a person now. I mean, there's some really great records that are being made outside of whatever genre they continue to place me in or categorize me in, and those are big influences on me, and you'll probably see some of that in the next record. But I think we're just going to try to be as pure and try to seclude ourselves from outside influences. Big Aristotle over there we do most of the writing together, and so we're gonna just become hermits and just lock ourselves in a room and just make music for a while and just see what happens.
We are looking forward to not only tonight, but for the next album, for the next poetry book, all that you do, and the next festival.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Maybe I'll make my own festival. That's what I should do.
OTEP Festival.
OTEP Fest. What do you think?
I think that it sounds great.
Idea, right?
Yeah, I'll help you with it.
All female fronted bands.
When FeMetal TV, we'll cover it.
There we go.
There we go.
All
right. Thanks for joining us here on FeMetal TV. Have a great night. We'll see you shortly. Take care.